Smart assistants powered by artificial intelligence are on our phones, in our living rooms, in our kitchens, and in many more places, and they keep expanding into more areas of life. And now they're in our design software. Let's take a look how the design assistant can help us with a general workflow in design. Here we have a motor assembly, and one of the parts we want to remove some of the sharp edges with a fillet. There's a lot to select, and that's where the selection helper, part of the design assistant, comes in. We make one selection, and the selection helper suggests a range of other selections that it can make for us based on the size, shape, and orientation of the geometry. If we make more selections, the prediction becomes more intelligent and more relevant to what we need it to do. And in a much shorter space of time, we have all the edges that we want with a new fillet on there. Let's take a look at another example. This top cover may need some chamfers adding just to make the insertion of the fasteners much easier. Instead of having to pre-select all of the edges, we can just simply go into the chamfer command and use the selection helper once again. And all of the correct edges from the holes have the chamfer applied. Let's take a look at another example on a more complex part. We need to add a fillet to all of the ribs. Again, the selection helper pops up and selects all of the lower edges on the ribs. This is great, but we actually need a few more. So just by making a second selection, we can add a bit more intelligence into the design assistant, and we get a much better prediction for exactly what we need. And in just two selections, we have all of the rib edges selected to apply that command. But we also get help from the design assistant when sketching. We need to add some holes to attach this bracket. We can simply place one sketch entity and the sketch helper pops up. The sketch helper is there to predict what we're going to sketch next to save us having to do it ourselves. And the sketch is done. And here's another example. Despite the irregular geometry, the design assistant inside the sketch helper is intelligent enough to recognize the similar features on the underlying geometry to correctly predict the sketch we were going to do. And there you have it, the design assistant on the 3D Experience platform inside SOLIDWORKS X Design.